Secretly silencing conservative voices, influential left-wing groups have reportedly granted millions of dollars to a disinformation tracking organization that's been trying to defund conservative media outlets through secret blacklists. This is according to an exclusive report from the Washington Examiner. Devin Nunes is a former California congressman. He is the current CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group. He joins us live. Devin, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on.
Great to be with you, Sean. Thank you.
Talk to me about this. You're no stranger to hearing these stories as well, even through your time in Congress, obviously serving those in California, and then where you are today. What do you think about this exclusive from the Washington Examiner report in silencing conservative voices? It's been a recent topic here at the network that Newsmax was dropped by DirecTV as well, and there are multiple stories like that out there. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the irony is that the Washington Examiner is one of many which are considered center-right news sites, news publications. They've been around forever. They've been in Washington. They do actually, I think, a magazine monthly similar to Newsmax. And they too have been targeted. So it's not just Newsmax and OAN that woke companies like AT&T have canceled. It's also this whole movement on so-called fact checkers that essentially what they do is they'll ship money overseas, dark money. And in some cases, I believe there's been reports that this is actually money not just that comes from the U.S. government, but also comes from big tech corporations. They send this money to these so-called nonprofits, and then they just deem places like Newsmax, places like the Washington Examiner, True Social as places for disinformation. And then what they do, they take it a step farther. And this is really the next major point, Sean, that people are going to have to focus on. It's something we're going to have to deal with at True Social also. And that is that they target the advertisers. So once you get labeled and once you're on a blacklist, then companies like Newsmax and companies, like True Social, we're going to get something like maybe 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents on the dollar compared to, say, one of the mainstream networks like, say, a CNN or what have you. And it's a big problem. So they get the woke corporates to suppress the ad spending on sites like ours and on channels like yours.
Yeah, and you wonder oftentimes if the FCC could get involved. In fact, Gigi Sohn, she is the President Biden's nominee to be the chair of the FCC. She testified on Capitol Hill during her confirmation hearing. You may be surprised to hear what came up several times. Newsmax, listen to this.
Mm-hmm. There's another issue that is right in the FCC's wheelhouse, which, Senator Cruz, you just put out a statement about a little while ago, and that's the deplatforming of Newsmax and OAN. I don't know why DirecTV deplatformed them. I spilled blood trying to get them on platforms, the predecessor to OAN called Wealth TV, but also Newsmax. So I'm very troubled by that. But I fear that there may be some competitive issues at play. I don't know the actual facts, but I think it's something the FCC should investigate.
An interesting moment there as well, perhaps a response on that statement, but also you mentioned Truth Social. I mean, Truth Social essentially wouldn't have existed if the former president did not lose his platform on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's exactly right. What True Social's doing, what Rumble is doing, we're working to basically open up the internet to give the American people their voice back. We've successfully done that, right? Despite all the attacks and all the attempts to shut us down or all the naysayers. So, we're kind of opening up the internet. You guys there at Newsmax are more traditional television. But at the end of the day, Sean, we're all suffering from the same fate. And that is that the government has never the U.S. government has never stepped in. In fact, I think they've been on the opposite side many times, actually encouraging these networks or these news sites to be either shadow banned or they beat people up. No company wants to advertise. No big corporation wants to advertise because they don't want to get attacked by the left in Congress. And so, that's why I think this is really kind of the next frontier. And we're kind of in uncharted territory, right? This happened a year ago to OAN. It has, you mentioned, millions of people have been banned by, the Facebooks of the world and the other tech tyrant platforms. That's given us an opportunity to exist. now they're banning you guys from kind of the over the top, kind of the broadcast news. So this is kind of the Wild West here. I would say if you're center right, we're under tremendous pressure because of the lack of, we're not going to get those big ad buyers. And so, we're trying to create these new ad platforms. We're working on that so that we can, maybe take advantage of regional advertisers so that we're not so reliant on, say, the big woke corporates. And, with the Republicans in control of the House of Representatives, hopefully, well, I don't say hopefully, I think they're already doing it, as you just saw in that clip. They're going to continue to put pressure on the executive branch and at least raise awareness here. Now, the question will be, is there any legislation or will it only be investigations? But in the meantime, the best that we can do is continue to raise awareness and to stay up there and to stay out there so that people do have a voice. And, that's why we're so supportive of Newsmax. That's why, I come on Newsmax a few times a week.
That. Yeah.
And I'm really honored to do it. And in fact, I ran into Chris Ruddy the other night and had a short conversation with him. Chris Ruddy is the owner of Newsmax and founder of Newsmax. I just said, look, I don't know how you do it. He's been fighting this fight, for what, almost over 2 decades. Here, you guys at Newsmax, you finally get on the radar, right? I mean, you've got shows now that are in the top 20 sometimes. I mean, it's really an amazing feat that you guys have accomplished. Right when you get to that plateau, then boom, you get hammered. Obviously I feel bad, but we're here to help everyone get their voice back, including you guys.
And a lot of viewers are doing the same as well. We appreciate that, Devin Nunes. Always good to see you. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Got it.